I accidentally hit the stop button on accident. Yeah. So I'm just gonna have to make this part 2, join them together, whatever. I'll get it to you, because one comes out, the next one's coming. Joel chapter 3, for look, in those days and at that time when I turn back the captivity of Yehuda and Jerusalem, then I shall gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I shall enter into judgment with them there for my people, my inheritance, Yasharal, whom they have scattered among the nations, and they have divided up my land. That captivity is what we have come out of. And when you are have a mind of understanding, and you see just you see the enormity, the scope, how encompassing that captivity is, how heavy it is, and how it's so difficult when you're in it to convince yourself to come out. When you see and understand the enormity of that, it's the only captivity. I'm not belittling anybody, but if someone kidnaps someone, that's nothing compared to what we have been held captive in. And verse 2 says, the Most High says, then I shall gather all nations. He's going to start bringing out captives from all nations, and he'll bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I shall enter into judgment with them there for my people, my inheritance, Yasharal, whom they have scattered among the nations, and they have divided up my land. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a young man for a whore, and sold a girl for wine, and drank it. And also, what are you to me, O Sor and Sidon, and all the coast of Philistia? Are you repaying me? And if you are repaying me, you're going to learn, I would swiftly and speedily return your reward on top of your head. For you have taken my silver and my gold, and brought my treasures into your temples. Everything pretty much is a parable. Just earlier today, I was thinking, when I saw gold, I went and looked at how if mining of gold happens in Jerusalem. I found some nuggets there, so Abba he knew, in my pride and in my me operating still in flesh, he knew I would go there, so he had to leave some cookies, some breadcrumbs for me there too, because he covers everything. He thinks of everything. Sit back and relax. Kick your feet up. He's got this. He knew that I would still look at it and I went, and there was they've never been able to mine silver there, or gold there, and you know about the gold rush out here. So that was more proof for me to prove that the land's here. But when you do what's right and you just go to him for the truth, let him show you, because it's the only source, you get more undeniable evidence that you were looking for. And that gold, that silver, his treasures, that's us. And they took us into these religions, these temples, into that captivity. And the people of Yehuda and the people of Jerusalem, you have sold to the sons of Yawan to remove them far from their borders. See, I am stirring them up out of the place to which you have sold them, and I shall return on your own head what you have done. Like I said, the American spirit, which is part of that, is what will destroy the American spirit. The fact that she sits in such pride and feels that she's untouchable. When they come, she won't be aware, because she has no belief that it could happen. If she was humble and knew that she was vulnerable like any other country, she might be on guard and watch therefore. And shall sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the people of Yehuda, and they shall sell them to the Shebites, to a nation far off, for Yahuwah has spoken. Proclaim this among the nations, prepare for battle, wake up the mighty men. Let all of the men of battle draw near, let them come up, beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Hasten and come, all you nations, and gather together all around. O Yahuwah, let your mighty men come down here. Let the nations be aroused and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there I shall sit to judge all the nations on every side. Put in the sickle, for the harvest has grown ripe. Come, go down, for the winepress is filled, the vats overflow, for their evil is great. Crowds in the valley of decision. For the day of Yahuwah is near, the valley of decision, in the valley of decision. Sun and moon shall become dark, and stars shall withdraw their brightness. And Yahuwah shall roar from Sion, and give forth his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But Yahuwah shall be a refuge for his people, and a stronghold for the children of Yasharal. Then you shall know that I am Yahuwah, your most high, dwelling in Sion, my set-apart mountain, and Jerusalem shall be set apart, and foreigners shall not pass through her again. And it shall be in that day that the mountains drip with new wine, and the hills flow with milk, and all the streams of Yehuda shall be flooded with water, and a fountain flow from the house of Yahuwah, and water the Wadi Shittim. Mitzrayim shall become a ruin, and Edom a ruin, a wilderness, because of violence done to the people of Yehuda, whose innocent blood they shed in their land. But Yehuda shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem to all generations, and I shall avenge their blood, which I have not avenged, and Yahuwah shall be dwelling in Sion. And in chapter 2, okay, it says that he will bring the grain, the new wine, and the oil. The grain is symbolic of the bread, okay? That he will bring the people, the grain, the bread, and the truth. The new wine he will bring. And that is the new understanding, the truth that's always been there, but now we're walking in it. That is walking in the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Ghost, they say, the Holy Spirit, the set-apart Spirit. We will be walking completely in that. And the oil, he's going to bring that to those who love him, all those things. The oil is what lights your lamp. Your lamp is the Torah. Your desire to follow the instructions, to learn them, to learn him. That's your oil. And he's going to bring it for you when you get there. And he's going to ignite your fire. And you're going to be so satisfied, because that's what has been, has long been what lights your fire. If you're a sub and you've been around for a while, can you honestly say, without having to take too long, that you know what lights my fire? I'm pretty sure you know, don't you? That's why I'm here. That's why you're here. That oil. The 5 foolish virgins and they use their oil, right? That's what the oil represents. Last night, wait a second. Yeah, we read all three. Last night, I made the video about understanding, right? And he showed me the perfect, complete, full, clear logical, rational, common sense way to look at understanding, to understand it, right? That pure understanding is that if we want to seek truth, we have to go to the only place where it's found. And if you're reading or you're on your search and you stumble upon something that you don't know the truth to, you can't put what your opinion is on that. You can't think you know, because if you do, you're wrong, right? You can only, if you want the absolute truth, you can only go to him, because he is that source only. So after he showed me that and I made that video, I was sitting in my truck and I was thinking, like I always do, like who could I talk to who ain't too mad at me, who ain't too whatever, that I might be able to come in and just have a nice conversation, but somehow, some way share that with them so they can see it too, right? And I thought of my mom. And if you've been a sub for a while, you probably said, oh boy, when I said that. I asked her, and so gentle, and was talking, and right off the bat, she started to do what everyone does and respond to nothing, to something I didn't even say, to something I guess in her wild imagination thought I said, but I didn't. And she just kept, when I said, do you know what understanding is? And her attitude was like, what, and you do? Yeah, what, am I going to hell now? And that's just, but worse, it was extreme. Like she always does, but it was at the highest, it was at its peak last night. And after that, I was bored, and a couple hours later, I started to play on my little beatbox machine thing, and I made this beat, and I freestyled it. I didn't sit and think about it. I just hopped on and just went with it and rode the wave of it. And I'm gonna let you hear it, and you tell me what you think. But I halfway through, about a third of the way through the beat that I was making, I seen how I was going in a circle, and I seen how I could bring it around back full circle, and that beat was a circle. I was riding a wave in a circle pattern, right? And so I said back around. I'm going to name that back around. I never thought nothing about it. It was a circle back around. That was it, right? And then I started to think about Abba, and I thought about lyrics that I might put on it. And I thought, like, not like a full set of lyrics, chorus, just like, kind of like almost a trance song or something like that, where they only have a few words, but I would want a few more, but with like no rap, like an auto tune, like Drake voice, kind of like half singing and just talking, and I would start out, and this just come to me, and I didn't even think about it until long after. And I thought in the beginning I might say, we came up, we were on the ground. I was thinking about how Adam was the first man, and Abba made him from the dust of the earth, right? And that's where we're said to come from. We come from the dust, right? And he knew us in the womb. So when we started, we were with him. And then we started this journey through life. We come from the ground, right? And we're going around, coming around. And we never knew him. So it would kind of go like, from the ground, coming around, I never knew you, right? But better, obviously, I suck at it. And then in the middle, it would be like, feet up off the ground, or on the ground, who are you? I'm coming around. And then in the end, it would say, way up off the ground, I finally come around. I know you, or I see you, you know. And it was just the idea of it, how we come full circle, right? And it was just beautiful in my mind. And then I got, he made me get up and read Joel. Why? I don't know why I don't ever read Joel. And that is all the more proof of we don't know, right? Well, so many beautiful, amazing things. All the cups in the world flowing over inside of me right now and today. I've tried to make this video 4 or 5 times. And every time I wanted to tell you what I got to do. But it all started in Joel. And all the ones I attempted to make, I played the song, I did this and that, and every time it got shut off or messed up, and he let me know that it was because I was going to something other than him. I was going to play the song that I made. I was going to tell you about this and this and that. But the source of the whole day of all of it was right there in his word. And that's why we did it this time. And this time, we're doing it right. We're giving all esteem and praise and honor and glory to the only place, only one deserving of it. We are not. After today, I woke up this morning and I went and read chapter 3, which just blew my mind. I, in hindsight, realized that my mom peeked through, that she saw understanding, and I've never saw that happen to her before. I realized that something happened to her when we were talking last night, and she saw something. And at the time I didn't realize it, but it happened. Okay? And so today I went and I read chapter 3, and I got blessed from the Most High with all the ammunition anyone would need to prove to anyone that the land is where I told you he showed me. It's right there. And all the proof you would need that it's not where you think or you've been told it is, right? It's right here. If you're in America, you're standing on your inheritance. And I can prove it to you. And the time, not the exact date that we are to go, that this is going to happen, but in Joel, he lets you know that what, not how close you are, but what part of the life, the journey you're in, okay? Because he tells you, he describes of the reproach he will make you go through, okay? And that how it's just going to be crazy. And then what will be happening, right? We didn't know that RUSSIA's military was like a big basset hound, floppy-eared basset hound, and just couldn't do nothing. And he described that right when we see that, so we can draw that connection right away. And we saw the CHINAs. It just surpassed America's military not too long ago. He said he will draw the Yehudims out from that captivity. We're being drawn out. I was talking to a sister yesterday, and we were saying we don't remember when in our childhood, when like back in the 90s and 80s and stuff, this people doing this, talking about it, just didn't happen. So from these things happening, which he described in his word, it will let us know how close we are, so we can start to get our bags packed and get ready. And he let me know that it's exactly like when he brought them out of Egypt. Do you remember? They came to the Yehudim the night before, and they said, get your lamb on this day tonight and be ready. Put your blood over the door and make sure in the morning you're ready to go. Have your bags packed, okay? Our life, our search, our walk our faith, what we've been doing in this journey, what we've learned from him. It's all been great, right? But we've never come to the day where it's like, okay, tomorrow it's happening, right? That day's coming. It will come. And the reality of all this, the manifestation, the moment when you finally realize this is happening, it's coming, and you're gonna need to pack your bags and not doubt nothing. Have your boots strapped up, suited and booted, and ready to rock and roll. The boss is coming. We're coming back around. At the out right before we come back full circle to him, he showed me that out in that far reach of this test, this life that we must go through and experience it in order to become who we are. We have to go through the very end of darkness, of the everything that's bad, and experience the worst of it at its maximum peak, at the climax of it. He told me that. And me and my son was driving today, and we were just driving, and we kind of got lost, and we come to a town. We were hungry, and there was a Popeye's chicken there, and we pulled up when we were gonna get something to eat through the drive-thru, and we ordered our food, and the lady talked through the little thing, the box where you order the menu, and I never really paid attention to how she was talking. We pulled up to the window, and the window opened, and this lady said, "That's $9.86, sir." And it scared me. I mean, it startled me. I jumped. I was like, okay, $9.86, okay. Like, okay, And all I had for change was a $5 bill and a $1 bill. I was like, oh, and I pulled 100 out and grabbed it to her. She said, oh, hell no. No, nope, nope. I said, nope. Really? I said, no. That's what you're going to say? She said, hell no. I looked past her, and I looked up in there in the kitchen, and it was like South Central, Crenshaw, Compton, the end up in the Popeyes. They were posted up by the chicken and stuff, right? As I'm looking at it, there's a guy standing behind me. He said, give me that fucking chicken. I was like, oh my gosh. I almost pulled away. I was scared. I was like, man, we got to get out of here. This is crazy. I've never seen that. Like, I was just blown away. I was like, how in the world is this possible? How haven't they been shut down? Like, and are we, if someone drives by, are they going to look at us like, you're crazy? Are you really ordering food there? Like, you might get shot. Like, literally, I wouldn't be surprised if they just stood there with a pistol at the window and just blowed everyone, shot them in the face as they pulled up to the window. That's how off the chain it was. It was insane. It was insane. Never in my life have I ever seen anything like it. We weren't scared, but I was like, my gosh, this is nuts. Have you ever seen anything like that? You pull up to their drive-thru window to order some food, and they let you know they want to kill you. Hurry up, and just cussing and just doing all kinds of stuff up in there. Well, son, as we're driving away, son was like, man, you think somebody's going to call like the corporate or whatever? And I got laughing. I was like, they're probably just like, they might say, hell no, when you call, and we got laughing, right? And I said, I wonder what these other like McDonald's and stuff thinks about it. Like, I wonder if they're like, man, you see what's going on over there at Popeye's Chicken? Like, it's crazy over there, right? And we started acting like it, like, give me the chicken, me and him did. And we got laughing. It was the funniest thing I've ever thought about, and him too. I can't remember ever in my life laughing that hard. Snot was coming out of me. And my son Blake, I've never seen him laugh like that. It was uncontrollable. It was maximum laughter. It went from maximum like are you kidding me? Is this really happening right now? Like, are we in a movie that there's a restaurant, and I know it's Popeye's Chicken, but still, like, I'm sure people's died in there and everything. It was nuts. Yeah, nothing ever got cleaned, and it was in a little bitty town. It shouldn't even have been like that. And 10 minutes later, we were laughing harder than we've ever laughed before. And after we were laughing, and I could feel my whole body was changed. Like my sides were like opened up where I laughed so hard. I like stretched areas out from laughing that had never been, opened up. I'm not kidding. And it went on for a long time. Well, my cousin called me, okay, who for years I've tried, like I do, tried to share things with him, and he's just thought I was batshit crazy. Every time I can talk to him, and he just was like, no, and then he's been like ghosting me, and I know it was because of it and stuff. Well, he called me today, and we got talking, and he seen everything. And we talked for probably 4 hours with just, you know how I say a conversation. If you ask questions from understanding and humility, a conversation should be like a well-oiled working machine. Most conversations go, one person's saying what he wants to say, but the other person, he's not listening to what he's saying. He's thinking about what he wants to say. So when he responds to the first guy, his response isn't in tune, in harmony with what that guy said. So they're not even having a conversation. He's saying something and he's saying something completely different, or slightly, or for the most part different. So it's not working. Me and my cousin had a conversation that was a well-oiled, tuned-in machine, and it was all esteem of the Most High, and going from one huge, monumental, groundbreaking, amazing, eye-opening revelation, one right after another, and just I'm telling you, it's what I've longed for. Okay, so let's go, and I'm going to show you how the Most High, what I was trying to describe right now, it's so far beyond that. That's why I sound like I do when I'm trying to describe it to you, so you can kind of get just, you can at least kind of understand what I'm talking about. I couldn't explain it to you. It's all of the above times a trillion and more. I'll show you that today was right here in that scripture. Verse 17, okay. I would never boast and try to tell you that I'm going to be something that the scripture says. If you have been around here long enough and you have a mind of understanding and you've tried to understand and you've witnessed what I've done and you've heard what I've said, verse 17 says, let the priests, servants of Yahuwah, weep between the porch and the slaughter place. That means from start to finish. And let them say, spare your people, O Yahuwah, and do not give your inheritance to reproach, for the nations rule over them. That veil that we're trying to, like my mom, peek through, like my cousin just tore down. He had it tore down by the Most High today. He got through it. Because the nations that has made all that stuff ruled over us, right? Why should they say among the peoples, where is their Most High? And let Yahuwah be jealous for his land and spare his people. The reason he said that at the same time as spare his people, because the manifestation of the reality of the land, and we must go, and we got to go. And that's the point, and that's the mission. That's part of the mission. That is sparing his people. And I'm going to tell you, I told you I laughed like that today. I told you that that my mom peeked through, that I talked to me and my cousin, did what we did. Right here, hold on, got my phone. Right here. And let Yahuwah answer and say to his people, see, I'm sending you the grain, symbolic of bread, of the word, and the new wine, and the oil. I'm sending you. You've been weeping for these people who are in captivity, and they reproach you, the people that you see attack me and stuff. I'm sending you the people that have the grain, the new wine, and the oil. Their fire is going to be lit, and you shall be satisfied by them. And no longer do I make you a reproach among the nations. Hallelujah. Do you see that? Our reward when we get through that bend where it's so dark and evil and murderous, but we have to go through it, right? When we get through it, I got rewarded today. Me and my son laughed. I don't know if I've ever witnessed people laugh like that. And it was right after we saw the worst thing ever. I've saw, some mean situations, right? But I ain't never pulled up in a little town to a restaurant where I thought I was going to hand the lady some money and her give me some food. I was surprised I didn't get a bullet between my eyes just for trying to get some biscuits. It was unheard of. That's why I said, I wonder if these McDonald's and stuff know what's going on over there at Popeyes. It was nuts. One extreme to the next. It went from 0 to 100, bam, right? And it went right to maximum satisfaction. Laughing like that. Being busting laughing to my cousin, just all about it. And seeing it faster than I was. All of it, connecting, like he said. And he says, a promise, a reward is that we'll never have to be done that way anymore. If you've been here for a while, I'm sure you've heard me cry over this stuff, and I've just went up and down and thought, and I've beat myself up over not being able to come fully to the understanding that it's not my business. But look, we are people who love of a humble, low, contrite spirit. That's something we will do. We can't sit back and just let them die, because we're not that kind of person. We have to do it. It just makes us. Yes, we're being stubborn by thinking that we're hoping that we might be able to do something, even though we've banged our head up against the wall way too many times. But we still keep going to the wall, right? Never again when we get to there. Never again. But not only that, we're going to be with those having conversation with people that's going to satisfy us to a level that's just makes me want to jump to the firmament right now and stick to it. And the northern I shall remove far from you, and drive him away into a dry and deserted land, with his face toward the eastern sea, and his rear toward the western sea. And his stench shall come up, and his smell rise, for he has done greatly. Do not fear, O soil, be glad and rejoice, for Yahuwah has done greatly. Do not fear, you beasts of the field, for the pastures of the wilderness shall spring forth, and the tree shall bear its fruit. That replenishing, repopulating with nothing but satisfaction. The fig tree and the vine shall yield their strength. And you children of Sion, be glad and rejoice in Yahuwah, your Elohim Most High, for he shall give you the teacher of righteousness, and cause the rain to come down for you, the former rain and the latter rain as before. What people call the old covenant, and it's not nothing like that. It's and when Torah was given out, there were people who did that, and then captivity came, and it taught all kinds of sandy, watered down foundation, south of town bullshit. But in the fullness of all greatness of what we will be rewarded by the Most High, who is so great. We will be having nothing but beyond satisfactory everything, all of the above. And the threshing floor shall be filled with the grain. That's how we get there. And the vat shall overflow with new wine and oil, with fire, burning desire to not shut up about the Most High and talk about truth and find it and just loving it, okay? Then I shall repay you the years that the swarming locust has eaten, the crawling locust, the consuming locust, the gnawing locust, my great army which I sent among you. He did it. And all those years, those locusts, they're not locusts, it's a parable. It represents destruction to nothing. Then you shall eat and be satisfied, and shall praise the name of Yahuwah your Most High, who has done with you so wondrously. And my people shall never be put to shame. And you shall know that I am in the midst of Yasharal, right there. And that I am Yahuwah your Most High, and there is no one else, and my people shall never be put to shame. And after this it shall be that I pour out my spirit on all flesh. And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men dream dreams, your young men see visions. That's what's going to be happening there. Wondrously satisfying to beyond what you could imagine. That's why I was saying all the cups in the world overflowing, but more. And also on the male servants and on the female servants I shall pour out my spirit in those days. And I shall give signs in the heavens and upon the earth, blood and fire and columns of smoke. Right there, I just seen how I was wrong. And in my humility, I must admit it, because I don't care if I'm wrong. I don't want to be right. I want to go to who is right. I love him. I love his righteousness. And I want to learn more of it. I want to eat more of it every second. I said the other day, and you probably heard me, that the priest can only be men. He just said. And also on the male servants and on the female servants I shall pour out my spirit in those days. And I shall give signs in the heavens and upon the earth, blood and fire and columns of smoke. The sun is turned into darkness, the moon into blood before the coming of the great and awesome day of Yahuwah. And it shall be that everyone who calls on the name of Yahuwah shall be delivered. For on Mount Sion and in Jerusalem there shall be an escape. And Yahuwah has said, and among the survivors, whom Yahuwah calls. the captivity, the watered down sandy foundation, the lie, the Nicolaitan way, all that, the dogma, the blind, the veil, wolves in sheep's clothing, all that stuff, the world, what we are becoming every second more disgusted with and just ready. Those who call on the name of Yahuwah, right? The people who will escape, there will be those who, all of them will be, they're calling on him right now, on their way there. Because if you ain't calling on him, you aren't wanting it enough, obviously, to go. We shall be delivered. I've got evidence, and I'm going to try to show you a little bit. I've had my new beat background playing. I'm going to show you some evidence about the land, and as you have a mind of understanding, you need to understand that the truth is that you need to see this land. You need to come out of the veil completely. And it's not that you're perfect and you cannot be convinced of a lie, but it's when you have the chance to step out. Your choosing this day is you step out. Because if you choose not to look at this, you are choosing to remain in the world and be foolish and prideful. So let's do it.